here's an aside. If you haven't heard of Johann Sebastian Bach, make believe you have, okay? Because you don't want people around the table thinking you don't know who he was. He was a famous composer, of course, but he didn't start his life as a famous composer. He actually gave music lessons. He taught the viola and the harpsichord, and he gave lessons in order to pay his way. And then, as he became more and more successful, he took some of the little ditties he used in his lessons, and he used those in his great compositions. One of his most famous ones is a piece of music called Minuet in G. Any of you heard of Minuet in G? One person, okay. Any of you who have kids who've taken piano lessons, you know Minuet in G. Any of you have kids? Any of you know what kids are? For those of you who still have not raised your hand, were you once a child? Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so Minuet in G, it's critical that you know this piece of music. And because there's all this equipment up here, I requested that they bring up a baby grand piano so I could play Minuet in G for you. Unfortunately, there's a couple issues HDI has. Number one, y'all have something called budgets. And Michelle, who did an amazing job of planning all of this with me, couldn't go over the budget. Number two, apparently getting a baby grand piano up here on stage is not very easy. And number three, I don't play the piano. But I wanted you to hear this music, and I figured, you know what? Bach didn't play a piano either. It wasn't invented till the end of his life. He played a harpsichord, which is a miniature piano. So I figured I would bring a miniature harpsichord, and I'm going to play Minuet in G for you. It sounds like this. Oh, thank you. I have to tell you that every time I play the harmonica in public and people applaud, I really wish my wife was here. So, everybody recognize Minuet in G now, even with my tortured rendition? So then let's go from Leipzig, Germany, 1740, to Vicksburg, Mississippi, 1940. We're going to meet with a guy, my personal idol, a man by the name of Sonny Boy Williamson. Now, Sonny Boy Williamson was about as different as Johann Sebastian Bach as you can be. Johann Sebastian Bach was short. Sonny Boy was 6'6". Johann Sebastian Bach wore, you've seen the pictures, kind of that red velvet Eddie Munster kind of suit with the pilgrim shoes. And Sonny Boy had been in England where he played with the animals and the yardbirds, and he bought English wool suits. He wore all black. Johann Sebastian Bach had the gray wig. Sonny Boy Williamson wore a little bowler cap. They had some similarities, though. They were both musicians. They both had three names, Sonny Boy Williamson, Johann Sebastian Bach. And they both wrote lots of music that was stolen, appropriated, sampled by other bands. Sonny Boy wrote a song called Peachy Tree, and it sounds like this. Thank you again. Now, here's the amazing thing. You all have exactly the same question on your minds, which is, why is this guy doing this? No, it's, what does this have to do with me? Both of those songs are as different can be. Both of those guys are as different can be. But both pieces of music use exactly the same 7 notes. If you remember The Sound of Music, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti. And that's all there is. Every piece of Western music uses the same 7 notes. WTF? What's going on here? You see, what happens is the rules stay the same, but the tools change every single day. And with technology now, they change every single minute, and soon they're going to change every single second. What did Stephen Wright say? If you put instant coffee in a microwave, you go back in time. That's the world we're in today. But the rules do not change. And so the idea then is to figure out, where are these WTF moments? And what can you learn from them? So I have a suggestion. You learn from artists. You learn from culture. because they are the ones who are charged with figuring out what's going to happen. Robert Comerford, a very famous designer, said that designers see things first. That's our job. We make the common extraordinary, and we make the extraordinary common, which explains fashion. A new look comes out, you think, that is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. And then a year later, you're buying suits that are shorter, have smaller lapels, your skirt is going up, your skirt is going down. Or automobiles, a new car comes out and you think, boy, I bet they didn't even design that. They must have done it with their eyes closed. And yet a year or two later, you're rushing out to buy one. Because artists and designers see things first.